Welcome to After the Pull, the video series where I share all my thoughts and opinions on the current comic books of the week. And if you guys haven't checked out Worthy Ones, that's where I share all my other thoughts on the newest issue 1, so I'll leave that at the end of the video. I'm Mike Spider Slayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. If you love daily comic book content and you like me helping you make decisions on what comic books to buy, came to the right place. Maybe you might hit that subscribe button. Alright guys, so it's not a very long show. There wasn't a lot of comic books that I read for this current comic book week, but let's not waste any more time and let's just jump right into it. You are entering the speed round. Here we go. The first one we're talking about is The Avengers. The Avengers? The Avengers. This is issue 18. This book is focused around Hyperion. He's making himself like a speeding bullet. Our Avengers have to come up with a plan to stop him, otherwise he's going to act like a comet and destroy all of Earth. Also, the other side story in this book is Storm is joining the team, and she's not joining the entire team. She's actually going to be replacing a member. Who that member actually is, you'll find out. You'll have to read it, right? But it does make sense that she has to replace someone because, like I said earlier, it makes the team way too overpowered if this member stayed on the team. This book is a recommend. It's fun. Obviously, there's never any stakes in comics these days, so I was a little bit disappointed with that aspect, but it was a solid read. The next book we're going to talk about is Venom War Venomous issue 2. Listen, the one shot on how we got Natasha to bond with her symbiote and to have her called Sliver was actually a lot of fun. This Venomous like tie-in to Venom War is a complete waste of time. All you get in this issue is Natasha teaming up with Flash Thompson, and Flash figures out for some reason he's anti-Venom, but he figures out, hey, if I punch these zombiotes, they're gonna disintegrate. This is a power that you've had forever that always controlled the other zombiotes or symbiotes, right? Like, why is this new news? And it's the same with Misery as well. She's like, oh, when I touch them, I can heal them and I can get rid of their zombiote. I'm like, this is stupid. This is not new information. Artwork is pretty good in this comic book, but unfortunately, this is a pass. Don't spend your money on this. Okay, the next book is unfortunate that I'm probably going to drop this going forward now. It's Ultimate X-Men issue 7. I've been championing this book for a long time, but when we get to issue 7 here, now there's just a lot going on to the point where I'm like, okay, now there's so much happening that I can't even remember all the characters' names, the culture, the Children of the Atom cult that's going on in here, and I feel like now there's almost too many characters to where the artwork suffers a little bit more, and yeah, it's kind of weird. It's just a weird read for me at this point, and I thought it was going to get a little bit better, but for me it's just gotten a little bit, I wouldn't want to say worse, but it's getting further and further to something that I would continue to read, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I'm going to pass on this one going forward, especially since, guys, there is so much getting ready to come out. I know I've been stressing that lately, so that's why I'm dropping this. I'm dropping Absolute Black Panther as well, because I want to see what's going on the DC side of things. Just as a heads up, upon this recording, I still have to read Absolute Power Superboy and Absolute Power Superman, so got a busy week ahead of me. I had to get this recording done. I'll get those books read eventually, but right now we're going to be talking about The Incredible Hulk. This is issue 17, legacy numbering 798, 32 pages, $4. Philip Kennedy Johnson is the writer. Nick Klein is the artist on this comic book. Now, this series has the potential to be great, but I think it just misses the mark a little bit. The horror aspect is really great. The tone of the story is good. I like the concept of it, but I feel like it's too drawn out. And we dance around the main plot way too much in this comic book, right? Now, the artwork in this book is just awesome. I think Nick Klein does a great job. The details are nice. Like I said, the horror element is great. I think The Hulk looks awesome. There's some great battle scenes. And finally, we kind of get the reveal of the eldest in this issue as well. She looks phenomenal, very menacing. Never expected her to be like this. And in this comic book, we finally see Hulk make his way to Vegas, because in all this time, I think it's been going on like 5 issues now, he's trying to rescue Charlie's soul. And also the main plot is, I guess, Hulk is like selling his soul to the devil here to try to rescue Charlie as well. And we wind up getting to see a nice little scene here between Bruce and Betty, and just certain situations going on that is going to make a huge impact on the Hulk character, I guess, going forward, at least in this series, right? So I enjoyed this issue. I thought it was great. It was fun to look at. I like the setting as it does take place in Vegas, as it opened up with these 2 kids that are trying to find their way in the world, and just things take a worse turn for them. But a good read. I definitely will always recommend this book, but it can never be great because it just never stays on the right path. It always zigzags. So at the end of the day, I'm going to give this particular issue a B-. Hopefully it continues to go on that upward trajectory, and it just continues to get better from here. Does anybody know how long this thing is going on for? Let me know in the comments below. Destro, this is issue 4. This is a 28-page comic for the price of $4. This one's written by Dan Waters, and the art is done by Andrea Bresson. This is the same artist that actually did Dark Ride. I was like, where did I see this artwork before? And that's where it comes from. And if you ever read Dark Ride from Joshua Williamson, I definitely suggest you should read it. It's really, really good. But here is the artwork, and I must say, though, just being that we have this type of artist on this book, I don't think that maybe this artist really fits the G.I. Joe series in my personal opinion, but it's not horrible, okay? In this issue, it's basically more of a setup, and what this series has really been, it's been about the power struggle on who's going to control which particular weapons organization to rule the world. And by the time you wind up getting to the end of it, well, you get the biggest bad of them all, right? And again, this is just more of a setup than anything. It's a world building thing to kind of get you to the point of G.I. Joe. So this wasn't as strong for me as previous issues of Destro, or maybe even the last issue, because I always like reading origin stories of the character, and this is kind of just a lot of just standing around thinking, reading, just contemplating on what to do, and and things like that. So for me, this one was good, but it wasn't great, so I'm gonna give this a C+. Do I recommend Destro? Yeah, absolutely. But I've said this in the past as well. This is not my favorite Energon Universe book. I would say Scarlet is the least favorite, and then this one is next on the list. But I still feel like this one is kind of way better than Scarlet. X Factor, this is issue 2, legacy numbering 294, 32 pages for the price of $4. This one is written by Mark Russell. The artwork is done by Bob Quinn, excuse me. The artwork is fine. I like the artwork. I think the characters have a lot of expression on them, and I think that's what makes a comic book, just to see all the different things that they're going through, whether it's romantic, whether it's serious, where it's comedic. Like, you can really get that distinction when you're looking at this comic book, right? And it helps you feel for these characters and gets you really attached to them that way, right? Now, when it comes to the writing in this comic book, it's a juggling act that I feel that Mark Russell has to do here. Like, there's moments in this comic where it's like we're having very serious conversations. Then you have a moment with the X Factor group where someone is pretending to die, like the grandma Mutant, whatever she is in here. Like, she like wants to kill herself because she's been living for so long, and they like find that comical. She's like, oh yeah, she's like, I want to find different ways to kill myself because I've been alive so long, and it's just like, it's such a swinging type of comic book where it's just like you get all that, right? And then you get Polaris in here where she's trying to take Havoc to a like intervention to where it's like, hey, join mutants, stay with mutants, don't work with the humans type of situation, and then that gets very serious and things get all heated up. And then you got the guy that's in freaking in control of X Factor that runs it, where he's on this corn dog diet. So it fluctuates from like seriousness to sarcastic, and you don't know what type of comic book this is going to be, which that might be a good thing. It's just not so predictable. But yeah, at the grand scheme of things, when it comes to this comic, we wind up getting to see Polaris versus Havoc in here, and which side is each character going to go on, right? And I really enjoy that. And now these like X-Men books are starting to take shape, and we're getting to see the direction that these stories are going in, and it looks like X Factor is going to be one of those books that I stick with. I like the storytelling here. I like how it's not all one-dimensional, and the artwork is really good. So yeah, at the end of the day, I'm giving this one a B+. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to more. Another X book we're talking about this week is X-Men issue 4, legacy numbering 304, 28 pages for the price of $5, written by Jed McKay, and the artwork in this particular issue was done by Nitho Diaz. So Ryan Stegman not on the artwork. So if you thought that the artwork was different this time around, it is different. It's similar, obviously, because you got the same, I'm pretty sure you got the same inker and you got the same colorist, but the art is different. And actually, I think I like the artwork better here. I thought the characters were drawn better. I thought just their facial expressions were a little bit better in this art. And maybe Ryan Stegman was trying to go for who is going to be the ongoing artist here. Maybe that's why he was drawing this book a little bit different. I don't know. But I thought all the characters were pretty awesome. So in this particular issue, we wind up getting to see our X-Men trying to rescue another mutant, right? There's all these different mutants, or all these people that are showing their X gene popping up, and they're trying to rescue them. This time, they're going against Trevor Fitzroy, who's basically a YouTuber. He basically has his like upstarts mutant guys with him or whatever it is, and he's trying to do things to get views, and our X-Men are going against him, and they're trying to create this distraction so they can recover this mutant. And I thought it was a lot of fun, and you get to see kind of Hank be this like little baby. He doesn't want to go out on the field. He just wants to do his little science experiments, and Cyclops is like, dude, you got to go out there and you got to fight. You got to do what you got to do. And it was kind of cool. It was an interesting issue. I liked it. You kind of get to see the big bad right now. That's going to be in this story arc, at least, and it's not Trevor Fitzroy, it's another character, which I thought was very grotesque, and he wants to study and use all these different new mutants that are popping up. So yeah, I thought this book was good, man. I enjoyed it. Do I think it was the best read? No, I think I actually liked X Factor a little bit better than this, but I do like it, and I'm going to give this one a B-. Like I said, takes a little while for Jed McKay to get going here, and I think he's starting to head in the right direction here, and I'm getting used to this, I guess, writing style when it comes to X-Men. Deadpool, issue 6, 28 pages, $4. This book is written by Cody Ziegler, and the art is done by Roj Antonio. Guys, I think personally, this is the best title that Cody Ziegler has ever written. He is doing a phenomenal job when it comes to the Deadpool series, and the artwork is really good in here. I love the cast of characters that is in here. Never thought that I would really enjoy Deadpool's daughter Ellie, but she is phenomenal. Princess right here, the symbiote dog that was created from Deadpool in the last run, was awesome, and the character is great. I love the dialogue from her, and Taskmaster being the guy on the side is phenomenal, dude. It's so great, and look at this artwork, man. You cannot deny this. So in this particular issue, we wind up seeing Deadpool have something for the first time. He really realizes that. He's got a business, he's got friends, he's got family, and everything seems to be working out. And in the last issue, we wound up seeing Deadpool go against Death Grip, I think his name is. And he wound up losing a couple of limbs, but he hasn't died. It's not like he can die very easily, but he's not regenerating. So he's basically lost like a leg. He's basically lost like an arm, and the dude can't walk too well, right? So he's a little bit in a bad shape. But he's going to be from behind the scenes, and he's going to be navigating Taskmaster, Ellie, Princess, and they're going to go on this mission fighting these Russian guys, which I thought was absolutely awesome. And we wound up getting to see Ellie don the costume for the first time as, you know, the female Deadpool, right, taking her father's place. And she actually wears a Taskmaster symbol because he is the one that actually trained her, and he felt, hey man, I was the one that trained you. It's advertising, it's branding, we got to go out of our way. And it was absolutely great. The interactions between all the characters were phenomenal, and then you get a kind of a surprising ending, which I didn't see come, and you guys are going to have to read that for yourself. But this week, this comic book is probably the best one out of the series so far, so that gives this one an A+ in my book. Top pick of the week when it comes to the books for after the poll. Definitely highly recommend it. However, I feel the best books this week were in the new number ones and worthy ones, and one of those books is definitely The Moon is Following Us. So I definitely say check this one out if you could get your hands on it, guys. But yeah, some solid books overall when it came to those new number ones. Deadpool by far was the best one I read for the current comic book week. So there you have it, guys. There are my thoughts on most of the books for the current comic book week. And as always, if you love the content, more right here. Like I said, worthy ones, check it out. All my thoughts on the newest issue 1 comic books. And as always, guys, support the local comic shops. Keep buying, keep collecting, but always remember, read the comics so we can have great comic conversation just like this one here today. Guys, I'll see you real soon. Bye.